And welcome, everyone. Okay, one of the things I realize when I start a video, my hands are going and everything's going, but that's just who I am. So today I'm really excited to invite Michelle, and we're going to do an interview with her. She's a very magical, etheric lady, and how I met her, I was at a show. She'll tell you what show it was. It was a trade show in Edmonton. Anyway, and so I'm there, and I'm very much aware of your energy, Michelle, and you're busy, and I'm doing some other stuff and whatever. And at the end, I couldn't help, but I had to go over to you and I had to connect. And I really feel that you do a lot of good work. Honestly, everybody, I really don't know a lot about her, except I just know there's something very special. And I believe that at this particular time, she has a special message for everybody. And it's all about body, mind, and spirit. And it's all about game changer. So game changer is anything that happens in life. And it's about relationships. And the first relationship is with self. So I've asked Michelle to share with us a little bit about her business, her little story. And then I know that she has something special for us today, Michelle. Okay, thank you. Go ahead.
Thank you, Sandra. I'm really happy to be here because I like the fact that I have a story that really can resonate with a lot of people. And it's very exciting for me to be connecting with you. I was delighted when you stopped by the booth at the New Earth Expo in Edmonton because you were already wearing glasses that are my favorite color and a few other things like that, which usually tell me we're like-minded souls or there's a beautiful connection there. So my name is Michelleeskdale Grandel, and I have to say my name is Michelle and I'm a metaphysical hoarder. So my journey has been, 20 plus years, 30 plus years of going to the psychic fairs and connecting with people and questing. I was questing and questing for information, for answers, going to readers, buying tools like cards and runes and things like that. And I didn't realize that I had the gifts already within myself. So it took a really long time because I was really busy following the rules. I am a Virgo. September 12th Virgo with a cap. So I'm a Virgo, then my ascendant and my moon signs are Capricorn. So we can't get much more grounded than that. So believing in the ethereal.
Right. That's true. And it's funny because I'm a Sun Capricorn.
Oh, nice.
So there's where our resonation, and I have a Mars in Virgo. So that's where we sync.
Oh, wonderful. Wonderful.
Perfect.
So what I found was that I'm basically been on this journey for a really long time and would have small incidences of awareness or knowing things before they happened or having a dream, but not enough that I could ever depend on it, and was really, really caught up in the logical mind. So working, getting married, having children. A few really monumental things that happened along the way were when I agreed to marry the man I married, I cried like I'd lost my best friend. I cried like my life was over as I knew it. And I really didn't understand that at the time.
Wow.
I knew when I met him that I was supposed to marry him. And I knew that I was supposed to have children with him. And so although we were like really good friends, and we were really, really good friends for, the first 4 or 5 years of our marriage, I just had to stay because I knew there were children coming, and the children's energy kept on kind of keeping me with it. Even though I knew that he wasn't a good, healthy partner for me. We were both hardworking, we were managing, we were doing fine, but I knew in my heart that he wasn't, unfortunately, going to last. And that was a really troubling thing to constantly be semi-aware of. So what I did was I just continued to look into the things that were important to me, and I continued to enjoy my, my, whatever you want to call it, my extracurricular activities and things where I was enjoying, going to the fairs and that sort of thing. And in 2008, I went for a Reiki a Reiki attunement. And I didn't even know what I was up to. I was purely there to, kind of support my friends that wanted to go and that sort of thing. So I was really not clear on why I was there. I just came, I brought my money, and there I was. And as a result of that first attunement, then I started to have more dreams that seemed to have meaning Still not very frequent, but I really started to feel more driven to do more in service of humans, like to really help. And I
Mhm.
was already an overly helpful person as it was. Some of our more interesting idiosyncrasies that we develop are people pleasing and that sort of thing. My whole career has been around customer service, which I notice an awful lot of healers end up in, because we really want to support. When it finally came time in 2009 for me to leave my partner, I'd recognized that I'd enabled him to stay stuck and that he was never going to grow or shift or change, and I just couldn't stay. And it was really very hard on me. I was really very traumatic and I was basically in shock for about 6 months that I had made this choice, because my logic said that this was not the right thing to do. My logic said, stick it out, get old with him and you'll be fine. But my heart was really not in it. And I also had noticed that a lot of the other things that I'd pushed myself into were not for me either. So as I started my journey as a single person, I started to fully involve myself in the metaphysical world and the shows and the expos and things like that. And I met a lady named Cindy Smith, who is an angel empowerment practitioner. So she trained under Doreen Virtue. And then in turn, when I met her, the synchronicities were just too much to resist. She was holding an International Angel Day, which was what Doreen had set up for us to basically send love after the 9/11. And it was falling on my birthday. And so I decided I had to go to this day, that it was going to be really important for me. And I went to this event. And because I'm a logical thinker and because things need to make sense, I always thought that I couldn't meditate. I really felt, oh my gosh, I don't know how. I don't know how they're doing that. So I would just follow along in my mind, which actually, if you know, is actually what meditation is. So I'm sitting there with the group. And I said, I said, okay, well, I'll just do what I'm told. And I'm listening and I'm listening. And out of nowhere, a voice that I didn't recognize said to me, "This is what you're meant to do." And I was so incredibly excited. I had no idea what it meant, but I was all over that.
Right.
Yeah. So what ended up happening, of course, is I got involved and I trained through Cindy, which is when I learned to be able to separate my logical mind from basically from my team, my intuition, my guides, however you want to put that. There's a lot of different ways to describe it, but we all actually are highly intuitive. And because we've been suppressed through our upbringing, which is society, our parents, social aspects, we lock down these things that make us unique, or these things that make us special because of fear, or because we're told not to share that we have the ability to maybe see people who have passed away, or that we sometimes just know things out of nowhere. A lot of those things we really hide because we want to conform and be part of the rest of the world. And so what I found was really important is my passion came with realizing that we all have gifts, and that I'm normal, and that I need not have fear, and that I can do work for other people and support them. I'd already been someone who people told what I would think was a little bit of TMI, or too much information. People would tell me stories about what was going on in their lives, and I'd be like, why are you telling me?
Yeah.
Yet I would have answers.
Right.
I would have advice, and I wouldn't even know where it was coming from. It just would happen to me.
Yeah.
So fast forward a little bit, I decided to, after taking my training, I really wanted to get into doing angel card readings and working with people. In the meantime, I'd also received my mastery in Usui Reiki, and I was excited to be able to support people through doing intuitive readings. And I believe that the biggest thing is that it's all about practice and trust. So I need to trust that whatever flows to me should not be edited. It should not be, I have to ask the ego to be quiet and not put its 2 cents in. I have to tell logic to please be quiet, because it's not necessarily going to agree with what I'm getting for that person. And so being able to put myself completely aside from what the messages are that are being channeled to me has taken a lot of practice. And it is one of the most rewarding things that I can do.
Well, that's awesome. I mean, you're actually a conduit. You're a conduit for it. But the most interesting thing is you had the logic at first and you had to let go of it. Similar to me, I had a photographic memory and I get really sick with sleeping sickness and lose it. I was very ill. To move over and to walk with spirit and to trust. Okay. And now I know why we've met. We've done work together before also too. One of the things is you had no idea about the book Game Changer, did you?
No.
When you met me? No.
No.
And guess what? So I'm just doing a lot of downloading right now, and I have some things to share about the new movement into to the Aquarian energy. So I haven't seen your chart, so I don't know, but I would sense that somewhere you knew this years ago because you were very forward thinking. Like you have this information that's typical of Aquarian energy. And I would love to see your information. I'll get it from you for your chart. This is perfect though. So the interesting thing is part of the thing they're talking about right now is in relationships, like years ago, I think I said that to you, Michelle, is that people go, it's like one's a parasite and one's a host. And I only say that because it gets a reaction from people. My God. Oh, okay. So, and basically that was the tradition. So we stuck together. And I'm not going to say everything because I'm going to do some videos on this. And maybe actually you and I will do one together on this because I think it would be good. So the interesting thing, it is about 2008, when you talk about 2007, 2008, that was when Pluto went into Capricorn. So that started the transformation. 2023, we're moving into the Aquarian, which is next week. Okay, Saturn is going to start. We're going to start getting into that kind of energies. Let's say energies, because we're all energy. Now, what we're being asked to do is to move into, some people are so intuitive, okay? Well, let's put it this way. They run with their heart. And when it comes to relationships, the dopamine is so strong because there's this sexuality and this whatever, and they get lost in that, and then they get involved in a relationship and the logic comes in because we need to have a bit of both. Most importantly though, what you did with your ex, I've never heard of that, and I was just downloaded last week with it, but I've always known it. Why we have to be able to understand and forgive, and that's where you and I will have a different session on this, is because right now relationships are changing. You were way ahead of yourself. So it says we need to, if in fact in a relationship one of us is being held back for our purpose and mission here, okay, our purpose and mission, that's for me what relationships are about, are being supportive to the soul, to our evolution. So you made a decision, which is typical Virgo, because you will give up a lot. That's the healer and whatever. Your children chose you and your husband. Number one, that's nodal work. That's my belief anyway. Number two.
Oh, I'm with you 100% on that.
Okay. The interesting thing is you woke up that day and knew you were not helping him and he was hindering you. Mm-hmm. You had to be the strong one to go forward and find your purpose and meaning and become, I say, the butterfly. So you come out of the chrysalis to become the butterfly and find your freedom to be able to give to humanity, rather than a lot of people nowadays is like, it's all about me. I want this, I want that. Well, you're never going to get anything until you give. And that's what I say every morning. So it's a lot about karma. Is at night when I look in the mirror, it's like, what did I put into this world today? Did I just take, or did I put into the world? How did that kind of energy blend. That is absolutely perfect. So I hope that you and I can do another one maybe in April,
Oh,
because
I'd love to.
the next 6 months is huge on relationships. And the first one is with self, and then you can share. Now, do you have anything that you can say from the angels at this particular time?
So I've been very blessed to still be connecting with a lot of my clients. And frankly, there's a lot of uncertainty and a lot of fear.
Uh-huh.
And so when my personal thoughts are involved, I definitely have a little bit of that too. And I have to remind people that what we're really doing right now is we're going into almost our caveman attitudes. There's some fear, there's some, survival, that sort of energy. But what it does is it pulls us right down from being able to connect in with the angels or with our team or with our higher self or with source or God as you see it,
Right.
because we're stuck in that root chakra of fear, of lack of opportunity to survive. The angels keep coming back to me with such calm reassurance that everything is going to work itself out, that we do need to just follow the rules. We do just need to allow ourselves to self-isolate. We need to allow ourselves to know we have what we need, that we will have what we need and we have what we need. And the feelings that I'm getting is that this is so much about June kind of coming to, things starting to taper off again, life coming back to somewhat like we knew it before. But more than anything else, it's about looking out for ourselves, our neighbors, our family, and still being able to do that without even physically leaving our homes. To be able to say, to share kindnesses, to share concerns, to be a shoulder. But it's not so much about panic, and it's not about, can I pay rent? Because if you really believe that this is going to go through and that you have good faith in a power greater than yourself, you're going to be fine and you're going to come through. It's when we entertain too many negative thoughts that we might make some choices that are not so healthy for us, and really have to work on that attitude of gratitude, and things are good. I mean, I'm happy that I have coffee for my Keurig right now. I'm just glad I bought a couple extra boxes.
Right. Yeah. And I think that's true. And I think also is because the first relationship is with self, and people, I think there's a hole here. And that
Yes.
part of, for me, is like to help you connect and align with whatever, the divine, the source, whatever. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
However, so what they do is they go out. And so the universe has more wisdom than we do. And so it created this kind of thing to say, you know what, you won't stop. So I'm going to give you something that will stop you.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to give you a 2x4 like never before. This is what you're going to get.
Mm-hmm.
So it's about going within. And I think there's going to be a big challenge and shifts in relationships, because no two people are in the house. The same with the children. And
Mm-hmm.
people, other than say if they have Zoom, they can't be running to the bar, they can't be going to a Tim Hortons, they can't be going here, they can't be shopping, because we're trying to fill this hole in here. You know how you said you felt really comfortable, you got to the peace. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it's finding this peace and knowing that things are going to be all right, but knowing that you don't need to go out there and grab. Okay. Whatever is supposed to come to you is going to come to you.
Well, and that's the thing, Sandra, that's really kind of important. I've been told that you have to get to the point of being alone, but not being lonely.
Thank
And
you.
yeah, and the only person that does that for you is you. It's not your partner, it's not your kids, it's not your pets. It's about bringing in that love, that, that positivity, that good, healthy solar plexus chakra stuff around deservedness, worthiness, saying positive things to yourself about what's happening in your life and how well you're coping, rather than worrying for this outside confirmation of your validity. I think that that's one of the biggest things that we have to talk about, is that people pleasing and allowing others to tell us our worth rather than being comfortable with our own worth on our own.
And the interesting thing is Uranus has moved into Taurus. So I look at the cycles of the planets last year. And what it's all about is finding our worth and finding our value. Because we always think Venus is about love and whatever and a beauty and that type of thing, but it comes there. And honestly, everybody, anybody that knows me, they know that I'm kind of mouthy. Michelle, they know that I always say you need to be able to come home to self to be able to get in a really healthy, functional relationship. Because some people, there's one going out the door and they have another one coming in the back door. They haven't spent the time to do the healing. And another thing is we'll talk about next time, and we can leave it with the people that they can talk. We'll come back in April sometime. It'll give them some time to think. Is one of the big things from my downloads is that, and you're not going to share it, and I'm not going to share it. We're just going to put it out there. Is it's very important to have figure out what the lesson was with your partner, where there was the past life karma and the lesson and whatever. So it's not about being the victim, and being really clear and actually being able to say thank you. Okay, you don't have to forgive their behavior when it's really bad. And I mean, then you've got to look at yourself if you've let it go to that stage. Okay.
Yeah.
But you know what I'm talking about.
Oh, I do. I mean, even just understand all relationships are based on agreements that we've made to work with someone else. They bring in all these belief systems and things that they didn't have as just beautiful souls. So a lot of time it's a lot harder for us to figure out what are our lessons with each of these people. And I think that that's what's important is in the last 11 years or so, continuing to find the lessons maybe coming up still, even though I'm no longer in the relationship. And the beautiful thing is the universe, the angels, however you want to put it, see fit to put people in my path now to remind me of anything that's left unhealed in regards to that karmic relationship that I had with my partner.
What now, isn't this interesting? And when did we meet? At this particular time, when the book was just out last year on relationships, and I had started it 8 years ago, okay, to say that that is one of the most important things, because when you can do that, then you can actually look to see what your relationship is with yourself, with the divine. And when I do charts, astrology charts, the numbers and that, I can actually see with the nodes where some of the past life was and what you came in here to learn, what's your purpose and what's your lesson. And so this is very exciting times. So I want to thank you. And if there's anything else you'd like to say to anyone, if you want to show them the cards you use, just, do you have a card with you?
Oh, absolutely. Yes. So actually one of my most favorite decks right now is this beautiful deck by Debbie Malone. I do have the case for it. Just hold on a quick second.
Okay.
And they're called Guardian Angel Reading Cards. And the reason that I love them is because they are simplistic. Basically, what I've learned from a lot of people is when we start to stay too much in our logic and our
Debbie, put them up just a little bit so they can see the whole book. Oh, okay. That's cute.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we all get too caught up in the logic or the academia. And I've actually moved to a point of it doesn't really matter to me which angel's in charge of this issue. I'll actually say, who is ever in charge of this, can you please assist me with this? So as an example, here's the angel of love.
Okay. Right.
Right. So when I read cards, I like to play with a lot of different decks. I do use a lot of Doreen's decks as well, Doreen Virtue's decks that a lot of people are very familiar with. But in addition, I also work very heavily with crystals. I became a certified crystal healer in 2013 because I had the honor of working with the girls at Friends and Gems here in Calgary. And my academic brain wasn't okay with me not understanding crystals and how they worked in order to be able to feel comfortable in sharing ideas or telling people what they could use to, help them with specific concerns, things like that. My work that I do now is pure, I do an awful lot of readings. Readings are very important to me because this is the way that we can really help you feel connected with yourself, with your purpose, understand your relationship stuff, and give you that optimism and positivity that you need to know most of the time you're on the right track. You just need a little help. I also do crystal healings. So I actually have a reiki table and I work with laying crystals on the body. I do grid work and smudging of houses, all sorts of great stuff like that. And so I've basically found that my whole purpose was to find the modalities that work best for me to become a unique healer. So it depends on what somebody needs, but usually I know, or I'm told, what they need to do to help with their own personal healing.
Oh my God, well, I can see we have to do more because we can do some sharing on that. And I have to tell you, because I'm really about the gems and the crystals and that, and they come into my life. And I mean, I've lived in Hawaii, and then the Kunzite was there for me and wasn't even sure. And then today, I actually have a shungite, but I was to go out and get more shungite. And then a selenite came in. So I have a whole little, like a little altar. It's on a little mirror, and I have my little angels and I have my little ones there, and I would like to do more work with them, and I have kind of my specialties. And then at the show that I met you at, I was also told that I needed to have a watermelon tourmaline. Well, oh my goodness, I looked at it. The tiny little ones were like over $300. But was it Friends and Gems did they have all the ones there? Oh my goodness, I got this beautiful little watermelon. It has the watermelon tourmaline in it, plus other ones. And this way I can wear it. I didn't even need to get the little stone.
Yeah, the entire bracelet that you bought is actually all watermelon tourmaline. It's just it's pinks and greens mostly. That's why they call it watermelon.
Right. So that's what I did. I actually went to a Ascendant bookstore in Edmonton because I seen how costly it was, like $300 for a tiny one. So I bought a green one and a pink one, and I put them beside each other. I thought, well, that's the best I can do.
Wonderful.
The weekend.
So one of my favorite books that I can share with
you. Okay. Is what?
Is The Crystal Healer by Philippermutt, Permutt. And I don't seem to have my copy sitting right by me here. But what it is that in the back of this wonderful book is the prescriptions for your physical, your emotional, your mental, and your spiritual needs. And he has given a list of which of the crystals would work well with that. And then it's still up to you to kind of tune in and feel or ask if that crystal is what you need to have for that specific question or concern.
Okay.
And it's been fabulous. That's a lot.
Well, all I can say is I'm excited, and I'm sure that other people are going to be excited. Thank you so much. And we're going to do that. And what I'm going to get you to do before I do the hashtags, I'm going to get you to write down an email to me, like the name of this book and a lot of different kind of things, so that we can share that.
Oh, wonderful. Yes.
Would that be good?
That sounds wonderful.
And are we done? Do you think we're finished?
I think we're really good right now. I think it's just what we were just talking about is it's most important to know that it is actually going to be okay. I'm not just, a lot of people have given me a hard time for being overly optimistic, but I really do trust, and I think that's a big part of it, but I do trust that it's all going to be okay.
Right. And it's interesting. I get the opposite. They say that I can be too realistic, because I try to help people take their rose-colored glasses off and get their head out of the sand.
Oh no, the angels tell me when I need to give somebody a good kick in the butt too. It's not all roses, I got to tell you.
Right. But it's interesting because Sylvia Brown in 2004 said that in 2020 there would be a virus come through and it would go quite quickly. Mm-hmm. She was absolutely fantastic. I actually seen her in Edmonton. So that's what I want to say to people, because I believe that the fear breaks down the immune system, that then in effect you are more prone to picking things up.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Okay, so I'm going to stop the recording now, and I hope everybody enjoyed it. I think you can check out all the information from Michelle. I hope you can subscribe to the YouTube. I hope you can like us and share it with all of your friends. She's just absolutely brilliant.
Thank you so much. It's just been such a pleasure, Sandra.
Thank you.